Hey folks, and welcome to Horsemanship 101 again today. Today I want to talk a little bit about some of the products we use on horses. And there's a lot of them, hundreds of them literally. And everything from grooming aids to fly spray, you name it. And I want to talk a little bit about the products, the reason we use them, and some of the potential effects that they have on the horse. And a lot of them, well, pretty much all of the products that we use on horses are not for the horse's benefit, they're for ours. Even things like the fly spray, we say, oh, we don't want the poor horse being bothered by the flies. Well, you know what? Horses have been bugged by flies for thousands of years. Hasn't been a problem. And the only reason people really like fly spray now is because your horse is a little less agitated by the flies when you're trying to ride it or work with it, so it's not fidgeting, throwing its head around, kicking at the flies or swishing its tail a whole bunch. And well, you know what? You can see these guys here. They're all fussing a bit today. They're kicking and swishing their tails and shaking their heads and all kinds of things. You see him stomping his feet there. It's because the flies are bugging them. Actually, the horse flies in particular, and they're agitating them. And so that's one of the reasons we use fly spray. But one of the things you got to worry about, not just with fly spray, but there's all kinds of grooming aids, shampoos, and stuff like that. And most of them are not, well, not most of them, all of them are not for the horse. They're for the human. Why do you want to groom your horse? Why do you want to put tangle-free stuff in the mane and tail? It's so your horse looks pretty, to impress the judges and your friends, I guess. It's the only reason I can see, because the horse doesn't care. Now, this guy here, I just finished spending the last 15 minutes taking tangles out of his mane. And, there's all kinds of products you can get to prevent that or make it easier to brush them out. But that's for people that are basically too lazy to take the time to get the knots out of the mane. That one over there, for some reason, he's not prone to getting tangles in his mane. Don't know why. It's just the way he is. My little girl, even though she's got the least amount of mane over there, even she gets tangles once in a while. I just spent some time the other day getting them out. This one here, his mane's a little bit longer than the others too, so that makes a difference. But for some reason, something about the thickness of it or the whatever, it's a lot worse. So, we can put products in, make it a little easier to do, but that's just basically laziness. And as far as I know, horse products, whether it's fly spray, grooming aids, shampoos, or whatever, there's no safety standards. There's no testing done to make sure it's actually even safe to use on your horse. So you got to worry about stuff like that. And I've seen a ridiculous number of pictures on the internet. They'd show some nasty bit of skin on the horse, and this product or that product did this to my horse. No, you did, you dummy, because you used the product. Horses are like humans. They have sensitivities, they have allergies, and if you insist on using this stuff, just use a little bit on a small area and see whether or not the horse reacts to it. But for the most part, they don't need none of that stuff. Shampooing, I don't believe in that at all, because you're actually reducing you're actually going to make your horse sick in order to make it look good. Because if you shampoo it, you take the skin oils off, you remove the oils from the hair, the coat is no longer waterproof. You risk causing skin issues. There's all kinds of problems that can occur. The horse might have an allergic reaction, it might have an allergy, it might just have a sensitivity. Anything can happen, and all because you just want your horse to look good. And in the process, if you wash it too much and groom it too much, you remove all the skin oils, it's no longer got a waterproof coat, and it's going to get cold, it's going to get wet, and it's going to get sick. So you're compromising the horse's health and welfare simply for to have a good looking horse. There's also things like fly sprays. Like I said, why do we use them? Well, because it makes a horse fidget less when we're trying to ride it or whatever we're doing with it. But what does it do to them? Like I said, there's no standards, there's no testing. The stuff simply isn't safe, and virtually anything that you put on your horse at some point is going to get ingested by the horse, because they chew themselves, they lick themselves, they lick each other, they groom each other. There's a lot of stuff that horses do where one way or another they're going to end up ingesting these products, and it might not even be your own horse, it might be your friend's horse that ends up getting sick because it was, doing some mutual grooming on your horse, and got the stuff off of your horse that you were using on your horse. So be very cautious when you're using products. Think about why you're using it. Think about the possible effects it can have. Think about what it can do to your horse. Think about the safety factor. Has it even been tested? I doubt it. I don't think there's any safety standards at all for any of the products that we use on our horses. And that's something to worry about. Grooming aids, like I said, the tangle-free stuff, the shampoos. Horses like to be dirty. And it's actually a natural fly protection because a perfect example is a little girl over here. You never see any flies sitting on her back. Why? Because she's too dirty. I mean, that coat might look fairly shiny right now, but underneath it, there's dirt, there's oils, all kinds of things. The bugs can't get to her, so they're not going to bother her. The only ones that actually collect on her are underneath, and that's where they usually end up. Same with these ones here. Same thing. Even this guy here, if I pat him, you probably can't see it on the camera, but there's a cloud of dust comes off of him every time I smack him. And because it's there for a reason. That's nature's protection. Keeps bugs off them. Could have some medicinal purposes too if they got cuts and scratches on them. There's lots of reasons to just leave them alone. Stop sticking stuff on their skin that might affect them. Think about it before you do it. Is it even safe to be doing it? How badly do you really need to be doing it? Because unless you're actually trying to impress somebody, most of these products, there's absolutely no reason to be using them in the first place. So just think about it before you use any of this stuff. I'm not going to single out any one product because I've seen people complain about virtually all of them. And if you ever walk into a tack store or any place that sells this stuff, the selection is absolutely overwhelming. Fly sprays alone, you got your environmentally friendlies, you got your premixed, you got your concentrates. There's a dozen different brands, and frankly, none of them work worth a crap. All the ones I've tried. And so I just quit. I don't bother anymore. And, as far as the grooming aids go, the tangle-free stuff, sooner or later it's going to get ingested by either your own horse or another. Same with the shampoos. You're stripping the skin of the essential oils that are supposed to be on the skin. Keeps them healthy. Keeps their coat nice and shiny. Keeps their skin good. And helps keep the bugs off them. So just leave them alone, okay? Stop putting all this crap on them. And stop messing with nature, and you'll have a lot healthier and happier horse. Okay, folks? Have a good day.